Etsy. Etsy's a great place to go buy. Again, a great place for vintage fashion, right? So it's great for Lolita. And a lot of little indie designers that don't make a lot of accessories or a lot of dresses will go to Etsy to sell their things. So as you can see, an $80 skirt there, very beautiful, and there's a screen print on it. In the middle is actually a blouse that I wore, and I bought from Etsy for $20. It was a really nice little gothic Lolita chiffon blouse I was looking at, and I wore it yesterday, so $20 is all it cost me. And as well, people like to make accessories there, so $20 right there for a beautiful little necklace. Major change. So I'm not saying that these items are necessarily Lolita. I couldn't find really good stock photos for these stores, but just giving you examples of what type of items you can look for. They're good for like wear, accessories, blouses, sometimes coats and shoes, and they're everywhere. That's the best thing about these major change stores, right? Forever 21 and H&M, Claire's, Ardene's are found everywhere, so you can find items like that. And it gives you a chance to mix current trends with Lolita. So things like certain colors that aren't normally seen in Lolita can be found by incorporating them into Lolita by mixing current trends. Thrifting and vintage. I didn't want to go too much into depth into this, as you can see. Valley Village, Salvation Army, really great places. I found really great purses and things like that. And I find the most unique dresses and things like that, but that's beyond the point. Just go there. I can't recommend it enough. Please go to Kensington Market as well. Has everybody been to Kensington? Please tell me. Good job. Whoever hasn't been, please go. Please go. It's ideal for Lolitas who want to create also like fairy Lolita, which is the 80s type of style with Lolita, and like steampunk Lolita, Moira girl Lolita. It's a great thing to do. Sorry. Okay. Now we're going into the do-it-yourself place. This isn't my area of expertise. I'm going to mention that I don't sew. So I'm going to talk really quickly about patterns and fabric, but I don't know very much about it. So I had to research a lot, and I still don't know very much. So I apologize. So, patterns. If you're handy with a sewing machine, you may consider making your own clothes by making something yourself. You're only paying for the cost of the materials to make the piece of clothing without paying someone else to make it. This also allows you the freedom to experiment your own design and use your own fabrics. The Gothic and Lolita Bibles are full of craft ideas and sewing patterns to help Lolitas who wish to make their own clothing. I recommend the Gothic Lolita Bible extras. They're packed full of craft projects and sewing projects, and useful for to see how to pictures, like as you can see the bunny there. However, if you're not, if you have some problems understanding Japanese sewing patterns, you could always make your own out of any existing Lolita clothes you may have or own. Or use some Lolita-friendly patterns from local fabric stores. And also, Avant Gauche has a large list of Lolita-friendly patterns. This is one of like those first sites that help direct Lolitas to other sites. And it's still a great place to go for beginners and learn a little bit more. Another thing I personally recommend is going to other fashion tribes. Steampunks make bloomers, right? So you can use those patterns to make bloomers as well. Which other one? Goth styles might be able to be incorporated. Just think of other fashion tribes that you might be able to incorporate. Fabrics. So these fabrics are all from Spoonflower. The Derpy AP replica I found went from $18 to $38, depending on the fabric quality. These ones obviously go for a little bit more, but I just wanted to give you examples of what people have created that you could use. And although they're not cheap, they will, like they're prints, right? So you can make your own print for a lot cheaper than normally. But these are all in Spoonflowers. You can buy them there. I think I looked up Lolita or Gothic or steampunk to find these. So they're very easy to find. Lolita fabrics of choice is typically nice cottons and other natural fibers. Micro suedes or high quality velvet is occasionally used for classic Lolita styles such as Mary Magdalene, and wool is often used for winter coats. Polyester and other synthetic fabrics are very unusual. So solids, honestly any color would work for the most part as long as it's pretty elegant. So like puke green, probably not. And lime green is a bit wonky, but like a nice muted green is probably the best choice, for example. But avoid neon and hot colors, and you should be fine. Prints. So most lolly prints tend to be floral, but if you find a really cute fabric with little cakes or ballet shoes, then you can also get a great print. You can also use these as well. Other things you want to do is avoid heavy materials as they are harder to work with. Pick the right colors. And you also want a fabric that's a medium weight around. Cottons are good, again I said. Lightweight corduroy and velveteen are great. And then for trims and things like that, rickrack and pom-pom trims are great. Satin trims who have a matte side and a shiny side. And a great place to buy trims are at cheaptrims.com. You can buy prints also like on Fabricland. I'm not saying that you can't go to Queen and on Fabricland or anywhere and buy prints. You're more than welcome to do that as well. But again, don't be careful what you pick. Not everything is going to be great for Lolita. Some things are, and some things aren't. I'm just going to check the time. Okay. So this is where I come in. This is where my extent to sewing is great. So I decided to add this because I thought this was a little bit more ingenious, and people don't always think of this when they think do it yourself. So making little things can actually add to your outfit, or coming up with ideas. For example, using polymer clay to make little jewelries was often really popular when I started in Lolita Fashion. It still is. I've seen it in the dealer room a lot. You can make it yourself, and it's not hard. You buy Sculpey, you bake it, and you're done, basically. Felt. You can use felt to make little things to put in your hair, or like little plushies and things like that. Just use your imagination. Adding lace to certain things, or even to your dresses and things like that, is another great way to do it. Adding beads and gems, you can make a beautiful little crown, an accessory for yourself, and not spending a lot of money. Flowers are very easy to make. That's probably the easiest one personally for me, is making like corsage and adding beautiful little handmade accessories. And you're going to see if you come to the fashion show how many girls actually, how many times I'm going to say, and she made her own accessories, and she made this. So it's really, once you get into Lolita Fashion, you're going to want to do it. Oh, I mentioned lace twice. Wow. Dyeing things. I made my own umber tights the other day, so I was really excited to wear them with my mom and Metsy dress, and a lot of people complimented them and wondered where I got them. I made them myself, and it just added so much more to the dress, I find, because it was an item that nobody else had. And then knitting, you can make beautiful little things, maybe even shawls and things like that. So just use your imagination when you're working with Lolita. Another thing, not recommended, but I thought I would mention it, that some people, not many, especially if you're buying like from Taobao and things like that, a lot of people I've seen do like to rework their pieces when they're really bored with them. So if you're bored with the piece and you have some damage and you can't be bothered to fix it really, you can consider reworking your clothes. So for example, this was a dress, and it didn't have like the embellishment of all the card suits. I think it was probably all white, and as well the embellishment of the glitter lace, I believe is all something somebody reworked with. It will affect the resale value, but I have a feeling that somebody would really want to buy this maybe for the same price. So it depends on how good you are. You can turn your items such as a regular skirt into an A-line skirt or into a Lolita piece as well. So the other idea of if you can modify a piece that you found at a vintage store, if you're adding extra pieces or adding extra details, you might turn it into a Lolita skirt. And there's, again, some great tutorials on the Lolita EGL sale for how to rework certain things.